I'm Elijah McNabb, and I'm having conversations with candidates running for office within Loudoun County and the municipalities. This one is a Lenore City Council race. And to begin, would you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, and with you being an incumbent, how long you've served on City Council.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for the invite. This, as you can see, we're out here at the beautiful Lenore City Park.
Yeah,
I've been seeing the other videos, and they're cooped up in offices, and I thought, it's the weather's been good, so let's do this outside. But
yeah.
yeah, for those that don't know me, my name's Todd Kennedy. I'm Lenore City Councilman, just wrapping up my first term. So I was elected for the first time to City Council in 2022. So I'm coming to the end of that. I'm a Lenore City native, born and raised here. My wife is a transplant from Cleveland, Tennessee,
No.
and attended Lee University down there. She's a mental health counselor. She has an office in Farragut, and I have two daughters. One's a junior at UT studying biology, and the other one is in her master's at UT, electrical engineering. So she works
Wow.
over at Arconic Alcoa Aluminum, and she lives in Blount County. And so we're Lenore City people. Myself and my kids both graduated from Lenore City
Mhm.
High School, and so I'm not sure when this will air, but Battle of the Bridge week as we speak here today, and go Panthers if this does happen to air before Friday. So, but yeah, I'm Lenore City native, born and raised. Like I said, finishing up my first 4 years, my first term, and I have just been really blessed beyond belief to do this. It's really been an eye-opening
Mhm.
experience. I really just loved it.
So, could you explain to me what you believe the role and responsibility of a Lenore City Council member is? And for residents who don't know city government, can you explain what the city of Lenore City is responsible for and who the government serves?
Yeah, so Lenore City Council members obviously are, they control the votes
Mhm.
on the City Council. The mayor sets the agenda, and the City Council members vote accordingly as the agenda items come up. So, Lenore City proper serves Lenore City residents, obviously. So, we provide fire,
Mhm.
police, public service, trash pickup, things like that for residents inside the city limits. It's also important to remember a lot of times social media can be divisive, but Lenore City residents are county residents, and so there's some overlap. There is some streets in the city, for instance, where people across the street are in the county versus the right side of the road might be in the city and the left side in the county. So there's a lot of overlap. Obviously, the sheriff's department operates inside the city limits and things like that. But yeah, the city government seeks to represent the city residents the best we can, and also attract businesses and serve the business owners of Lenore City.
So, you touched on this where Lenore City, Loudoun County kind of overlap, work together.
Yeah,
How would you describe the working relationship between Lenore City and Loudoun County, as well as the neighboring municipalities? What's working well and where, and if anywhere, do you believe those relationships could be improved?
yeah. Well, as with any working relationship, you're going to have hiccups along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall we work pretty well together. Obviously, there's been some issues in the last few years. Some of those go back beyond the 4 years that I was even
Right.
there. So, as with any working relationship, you're going to have bumps along the road. But I think a lot of this can be solved with communication, better communication. What I really don't like to see is cities and counties suing each other
Mm-hmm.
because um, as we've heard many times said before, when there's lawsuits amongst the cities and counties, the only people that lose that are really the taxpayers themselves.
Looking back over your time at Lawrence City Council, what accomplishment are you most proud of? What do you believe the council and the city as a whole have accomplished during your time in office?
So, in 4 years, I was looking back when you sent these questions, and in 4 years, we've done a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we have improved our downtown business district. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all the social media now about the new brewery that's
Mm-hmm.
opening up. It's an incredible place. Our downtown is being strengthened. We have supported our fire and police departments with raises, historic raises. And so not only are we able to attract the top talent in those fields, but we're able to retain the people that have served us well for so long. Let's see, what else have we done? We have built our public safety facility, and that's been an incredible asset to us, and not only us, but also to the county and to the surrounding
Right.
communities that will use that as well. Um, a couple other big things we've done is we've um, not only held our property tax steady, we've actually reduced it. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
something that I think is really important to state because there's not a lot of fanfare about that. I think on social media, we see a lot of times we kind of look through a microscope at certain things, but we don't even mention other certain things. And so I just want to kind of toot our own horn a little bit to say
Right.
we actually reduced property taxes before the reassessment happened. But I think personally, for me, what I've really enjoyed the most is just being connected to the community at a deeper level. I mean, I grew up here,
Yeah.
but even growing up here, there's people and organizations that you're not connected to, and I've been able to connect to a lot of those. And I think most people know by now that city council members receive stipends for being on city council. I've given 100% of mine away, and so I've really been supportive of athletic programs, arts programs, various community groups, feeding the homeless people at the Cold Hands Warm Hearts
Yeah.
organization. So I really enjoy doing that. And hope to continue to do it. Even if I don't get reelected, I'll still do it because
Yeah.
I really have a heart for Lenore City.
You touched on this a little bit with financials. Can you give residents a
Yeah.
snapshot of Lenore City financial position, where they were when you took office, where they are today, and kind of your long-term goals for Lenore City?
Yeah. So as I stated before, we were able to reduce the property
Mhm.
tax rate. Obviously, there was a referendum in the last election for property tax increase. I mean, not property tax increase, sales tax increase, which would have funded Parks and Rec and Habitat, and that failed. I think there's some confusion and some playing on of words by some people in social media that says we tried to raise it. What we actually did was create a referendum for the voters to decide. And I did support that, and I was proud to do that because I think ultimately the, the the residents and the voters should have the final say.
Mhm.
So I'm proud of that. The city's budget, we operated in a deficit this year, and so we've had to dip into our rainy day fund and our reserves to complete projects like the public training facility. So I think one of the big, uh, I should say hurdles, but one of the things we will need to focus on in the next fiscal year will be replenishing our rainy day fund.
Politics and, as you mentioned, social media is such an echo chamber, and the politics of it all receives more attention than policy.
Mm-hmm.
As a member of city council, you represent residents regardless of political affiliation. How much does your personal political philosophy influence the way you govern, and how do you ensure you're serving the entire community?
Well, I think it would be foolish to say that your personal beliefs don't play into how you view things as they come across your desk. But at the end of the day, a city council person represents the city as a whole.
Mhm.
Even the people that don't agree with you, the people that might support other people, they're still city residents, and I've never had an issue to where I felt like I didn't support those people. But I feel like Lenore City government as a whole does well to serve all residents.
What are your, and you touched on this a minute ago, what are your top priorities for the next 4 years if reelected? What policies, projects, initiatives would you most like to accomplish?
Well, so we're in the middle of our comprehensive land use
Mhm.
plan study, and I think that's been imperative for us to get started. That'll help determine kind of what the city looks like. So that's important to finish up, but not only to finish that up, but to amend our zoning regulations to actually put it into force. So that's an exciting thing that we'll be working on, continuing to revitalize our downtown. That's important for us to do. Like I mentioned, replenishing our fund balance is also another important thing. And, and obviously, the elephant in the room is infrastructure.
Right.
So that's the main thing we hear about today is the traffic and the infrastructure. So working on a plan to get the infrastructure up to speed is going to be imperative.
What do you see as the biggest challenges facing Lenore City over the next 4 years? And on the other hand, what are you most excited about for the city?
Well, I think going back to the infrastructure is going to be the most important thing, and it could be a challenge. We certainly want to have good relationships with our state and federal partners, our legislators, so that we can acquire funding from those partners to do large projects like
Right.
the 321 corridor. That's usually what I hear the most about is the traffic on 321. And I mean, to say it's not a problem would be foolish because it
Right.
is. To be honest, I try to stay off of 321 unless I'm going to a business on 321. So, yeah, but we will work with those partners to ensure that infrastructure comes up to speed. That's going to be a challenge, but we can tackle it.
Growth and development continue to shape the city and really anywhere in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance attracting new business, housing, investment while preserving the character and quality of life that current residents value?
Yeah, so it's a difficult task. I
Yeah.
mean, you would be foolish to say that it's not difficult, but it's one worth taking on head on. So, um, I think of the character of the town is not really the bricks and mortars, the stores that we see along the corridors. It's the community, it is the people, and it is the functions that we do here. So I think the first step is work on preserving and enhancing our downtown
Mhm.
because if you look at the Parks and Recreation calendar and the city's calendar, there is always some kind of an event or something going on downtown, and it's not really just to stay busy. It's actually to create community, and I
Yeah.
feel like the fabric of the community is the people itself. Um, Sorry, I forgot what the question was now, but yeah,
We
development as a whole. Yeah, so we will balance preservation of our downtown with economic development. It is imperative that economic development happen in Lenore City.
right.
The way our taxes are distributed here is the city of Lenore City gets very little from sales tax revenue. The school gets the lion's share of city sales tax revenue. So the only way the city can keep up with budget needs is by either economic development or property taxes being increased by the fact that people are coming here. So
Right.
we don't want to do we don't want to do property tax increase. So economic development is a tool that we utilize to make that happen.
As a council member, you play a role in adopting the city's budget and kind of
Mm-hmm.
making decisions about city services and operations in conjunction with the others as well. As Lawrence City continues to grow, do you anticipate a need for additional employees, or we spoke about infrastructure or expanded city services? If so, how do you balance the needs with responsible budgeting?
Yeah, so it's tough sometimes.
Yeah,
I sat in on. I'm not on the budget committee, but I sat in on a lot of their meetings,
yeah,
and department heads will come and they request money for staff, and
right.
obviously as a city grows, uh, city staff has to grow in order to accommodate and to serve those people in a good way. So um, it's a difficult thing. The last thing we want to do is raise taxes.
Right.
Certainly the city council has the power to do that, but we've not done it the 4 years I've been there. I'm not sure when the last time was property taxes were raised, but we actually lowered them, so it makes it even more difficult. But it's a tough task to do. I think one thing that we want to look at, or that I would want to look at, is as developers are developing properties, that they be responsible for part of the infrastructure instead of the taxpayers having to pick up the bill. So, for instance, the Kroger deal that was just
Mm-hmm.
announced, it was said that they were going to put sidewalks. I go up Town Creek Parkway all the time, and I see people walking up and down through there with no sidewalks, and it's very scary. And
Yeah.
even people that live in the Authentics apartments across from Walmart, I see people crossing Highway 321 with no sidewalks or no crosswalks. And so I feel like it would behoove us to have in our policies a way for developers to contribute to the infrastructure as they develop.
What major projects or initiatives do you hope Lenore City residents will see completed or underway over the next 4 years?
Yeah, even though the tax referendum for sales tax increase failed, I think there's still a huge desire for increased Parks and Rec offerings. I
Okay.
mean, we're sitting here in this park, and it's a beautiful facility, um, but there are other parks and even stuff in this park that needs attention. I mean, you're well aware of that, I'm sure. So increasing our Parks and Recs facilities improvements and expansion is going to be a big key that I think people will look for. Obviously, infrastructure improvements
Yeah.
along the corridors is going to be imperative to accomplish. And I think that's something that, and rightfully so, the voters expect to happen.
At the end of another 4 year term, if elected, what does success look like to you, and how should the people of Lenore City measure whether you've been successful on the council?
I think they would measure success by have we spent money um, in it? Have we been good stewards of the taxpayers' money? Have we not spent frivolously? Have we done what's in their best
Mm-hmm.
interest? Have we addressed infrastructure concerns? Are our schools still in good condition and educating our kids well? And are we able to communicate better with the county and other
Right.
municipalities to get over some of these hurdles that we currently experience?
Is there anything that we haven't discussed or I haven't asked you that you would like voters, residents to know before they go to vote?
I would just say I've been completely honored in the last 4 years to do this. I hope to earn their trust to do it for four more. If I don't, I will cherish the 4 years that I've had. It really has been an honor and a privilege to do this. And um, I was looking at the budgets today. We have an $18 million city budget. Lenore City council members are also on the board of directors for LCUB, and it has a budget that's approaching $300 million.
Mhm.
This is not a job that's I won't say it's a hard job, but it's not a job to be taken lightly.
Mhm.
There are so many factors going on in the operation of a small city that it's really incredible when you dig into it, of all the stuff that goes into it. So I would just say look for candidates that you can trust, and candidates that you have faith can do the right thing.
Alrighty. Well, the last day to register to vote is October 5th for this election. Early voting is October 14th through 29th, and election day is back on Tuesday this time, November 3rd. And I just want to say thank you for joining me and sharing your thoughts.
Yeah,
So,
well, I'm not sure when this will air, but if it's before Battle of the Bridge, go Panthers.
alrighty. Thank you.
All right, thank you.